Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.
Welcome to the meat market. The single scene is a slaughterhouse and we are here to devour it. We are your hosts. I'm Lyndsie.
I'm Jess.
And today's sizzling single is Justin. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So you made a cameo on 90 Day Fiancé. Your best friend was on 90 Day Fiancé and they've asked you multiple times to go on. Why haven't you gone on?
Because I just don't think I'm built for TV. I have more of a face for radio.
What?
Is
He
what
looks
I
like
like
Jake
to-
Gyllenhaal to me, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah.
That was literally the nicest thing. Right when you met me, you said that. I almost teared up 100%. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be phenomenal. Yes, one of my good friends out here was on 90 Day Fiancé, and I've met some of the producers through him. We did shoot that did not air, thank goodness, because I was 85 pounds heavier than I was now at that time in my life. So good that was my first part on TV. But I just don't think that's where I'm going to find my wife.
Do you date internationally? Do you date foreign girls?
I have never dated a foreign girl, but I have when I go there, like I've been on dates like with girls I've met there and like approached or been approached, whatever it is. And
Do you prefer foreign women? Or
at 30 years old and being in Phoenix, I prefer somebody that likes me back. Yeah, to be 100%.
That's criteria.
Hilarious.
100%
That's so funny.
honest.
I'm wondering. So if they've asked you to be on the show, like, are they going to set you up with someone, or then how does that work if you're not actually dating someone from another country?
Yeah. So how much can I say about that? I know
Without getting in trouble.
Yeah, I know my NDA ran out, but there are a few things that are
Okay.
definitely secrets. But no, they will never provide you somebody to date. You have to bring them.
So,
Okay.
because I've never watched the show, so it's already couples that are
they're already established. So the 90 day comes from, so it's the K1 visa. So the K1 visa is the fiancé visa. So if you're dating someone in another country, you propose to them, you get engaged, you file for the K1 visa. Once your K1 visa is approved, you get to bring them to the United States, and they have 90 days to live with you and get married to you.
So you have to get married?
You have to get married.
What?
If you don't get married, they have to return to their country and they lose their visa.
So that's the whole show. That sounds actually really good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Do a
very
lot of
invested
people-
in this show.
Do a lot of people make it?
Most of the people do end up getting married, but a lot of the people don't stay together long term.
Yeah. And so the show, they don't match make.
No.
Okay.
No, the couples are already together before they go on the show.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I have a friend who, she's now married. They have filed a spousal visa, but she also she loved this show as well. And she's married to a Panamanian. And so they went back and forth whether to do the fiancé visa or the spousal visa, not sure. And one of the things I learned through her is that even if the marriage doesn't end up working out, you're still, if you bring them over here, marry them, and then that they can then file for their green card, they can work in the States, they can do all these things. Even if you get a divorce from them, you're still financially responsible for them for 10 years.
What?
So they can come here, marry you, get their green card, work, divorce you, but then still rely on you financially
friend
for
know
10
this?
years. Oh yeah, she knows.
And she's willing to take the risk? Isn't he a lot younger than her?
Yeah.
Oh, make me nervous.
So you got to make sure it's real true
legit.
love, because you can find yourself in
Get screwed.
And some of the couples too, it's been real drama. They've gone on to have their own spinoffs because things like this come up, and the person gets over here and then it comes out that they were just totally scamming the system and trying to get into the States.
So you really, really want to get married, don't you?
I wouldn't say really, really to where I'm going to settle and caddy green or not green. I would love to caddy green flags, caddy red flags the whole time. But I mean, it's more that my dad raised me and we grew up very poor. Dad lost his parents when he was very young. And he managed a gas station in a very bad place, California, and he saved cans to put away for my college.
Aw.
And we lived in a 5-plex behind the gas station. He managed nights. And until he met Rose, my stepmom, and most of my tattoos that I have are for her, all up my arm. She's the love of my life.
Aw.
And the way she raised me and the way she sees me, the only thing I want to do to repay her is like show her me happy with somebody, which is all she wants, because every time something doesn't work out, the look in her face, hearing her cry while I'm crying, all of that good stuff is very heartbreaking to me. And I would love to show them a grandkid. Yeah, that's pretty much just
So you're a family guy, so you want a family.
Yes, I don't want a big family because I can't afford it, really. But I would say like perfect world, 1 boy, 1 girl.
Yeah.
But 1 would be fine with me. But someone's like, I want 8 kids. And I'm like, get a dog. I don't want 8. That's too many. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
So I've seen you only have a couple TikTok videos where you talk about your disaster dates, and they're actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stick with that, because you only have a couple and then you stop. But if you continuously do that, you will have a lot of followers, because they're hilarious.
Is it because you don't have a lot of disaster dates, or do you have a lot of disaster dates?
No, a lot of them are hidden, actually. It was one of the big things. I had to hide them from my, like, when I first started dating my ex, one of her big things is like, don't embarrass me publicly. And I do definitely agree with that. Like, you don't want to embarrass your partner, do something dumb, or you go to a work event and you get drunk at her work event. And then, that's so embarrassing. And like, if I'm dating her, to be honest, I sort of live in the way of, I don't have a past to where there was no girls before you. We all know, we're all adults, that you've been with guys before me and I've been with girls before you, but like, that's not, right here. That doesn't mean anything. So I did hide a lot of them, just so it's like, I don't want her to see that. And well, who was this? And like, who is this? Because I know in me, like, I've never cheated. I would never cheat. And it just doesn't matter. So I hid a lot of them. And I actually just unhid them because I forgot, because it's just my humor. It's like satire, to where it's like, you can laugh at my pain. And I do love those. They're funny, making like little graphs and stuff behind me on the TV.
The graphs are hilarious. Yeah. So what is the worst date you've been on, would you say?
I would say probably one of the 2 that I actually had the video on of the dating update, like the most recent one, which was like a year and a half ago, of the girl that I picked up that was already hammered. And everyone's like, that's your fault. And I'm like, you think in this life that what we go through, I'm not going to see that date through? Yeah, right. I'm 100% going to see that date through. I want to see exactly where that goes, because I need that story. Like, I need a conversation
So
piece.
did you pick her up at her house?
Yes.
And she was wasted?
Yeah, at first I was just like, you have a very drunk personality. And then she was like, no, I am. And I was like, yeah, get in. I was like, this is going to be awesome. Like that. And we were halfway there. And she was like, pull over. And I was like, okay. Pulled over, puked, and then we got there.
Oh my God.
And then they're like, drinks? And I'm like, and she was like, yes. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then I went on a mini golf date about a year and a half ago, and she thought it'd be funny to Tiger Woods a ball, and she just cranked her little club all the way back. Yeah, the putter. Hit it as hard as she could. It like missiled off a rock, came right back and hit me right here, and it made my nose bleed.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. But I would say those were like the 2, I would say, funniest. But I would just say, like, as of recent, like, since my ex of, what today is the 18th, 6 months, 4 days, and who's counting, that I went on 2 dates and they were both disasters in their own right, to where it was just, I didn't get catfish. Like, I wouldn't say catfish, but like the first one, when I saw her, she was about 35, 40 pounds heavier than her photos, which does happen. I understand you gain and you lose weight, which is totally fine. But her photos were so edited to where it wasn't like, I met you, I know your face from talking to you for a few days before we went on the date. And then, oh, you're just a little bit heavier than I thought you were. Like, her face was so edited. It was like getting to know 2 different people again. And then the second one, we just went out to like smoothies or whatever. And then when I got there, I thought she was Hispanic. And I got there, she was 100% Irish. That's how edited and filtered her photos were.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, wait. I was like, you're not Hispanic? And she was like, no. She's like, I'm 100% Irish. And I'm like, look at your pictures. And she was like, well, yeah, I don't like how like pale my skin is.
Oh God.
But yeah,
Oh my
I would say the
God.
first one was the worst because it was my friends pushing me. Justin, you don't understand how good of a guy you are, because I don't think that about myself. It's all my friends feeding me and like my parents and everything. And I want to believe them the best of my abilities. But I got home and everyone was hyping me up. My buddy who I live with, we have a house down in Gilbert, hyping me up. Everyone's like, go out there, go have fun. And I came back. Nobody was there. Sat down, cried my eyes out. It was a horrible
So it was a no-show?
experience. No, it was the first one where
the one who
she
was heavier.
her face was
right.
different. And it was like, it was the first time it was supposed to be something like romantic since like the breakup or whatever. I got home, I cried my eyes out. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, this is why I don't.
Well, and it's unfortunate because you're not the first guest that we've had on that has said that this is a problem. And it's been a problem more than once, like with women that they
filters are out of
online.
control.
The filters are out of control.
And it's funny because women complain about men lying about their height and bitch and complain about it all day long, but they're using filters. That's
Right.
just as bad. That's lying about your looks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had it 3 exes ago. One of the funniest things I've ever heard come out of somebody that was supposed to love me's mouth. She said, no, I haven't shown my friends any pictures of you because I think you look better in person.
What?
And I've heard that quite a few times. So where they're like, no, you look a lot better in person. Because my thing is, if I'm going to go on a date, is why would you have the bar up here if you can't reach that bar? I mean, maybe to that person you can reach that bar, but like, I would rather them go, oh, like
you look so much better in person.
You look so much better,
Yeah.
or like you're exactly who I thought you would be
Yeah.
is a great bar to have.
Yeah.
Like you're exactly who I thought you were.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
prefer to pleasantly surprise someone than disappoint someone?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So didn't you
sure.
go out with someone that had a tickle fetish?
Oh, yes, I forgot about her.
Tickle me, Elmo.
Wait, a tickle fetish?
Yeah, it was, I don't even know how this came up. She asked me about, I feel like as you get older, people like to be a lot more open about like your kinks or whatever. And I'm just like, she asked me straight up, she was like, what are like your kinks? And I'm like, a girl that has a family, wants a family, staying with me through hard times. She's like, no, in the bedroom. I'm like, I know what you meant. All right. I knew 100% what you meant. And then she's like, well, my thing is tickling. And I was like Elmo? And I didn't mean to say like Elmo, to be 100% honest, but I was really caught off guard about that one. And she's like, yeah, it just does something to me. And I'm like, it does something to me too, but don't touch me. Like, don't try to tickle me. And she's like, oh, so you're ticklish. And I tell everybody, no, I'm not ticklish. So you don't touch me. Like, just don't grab me, like fondle me. And, but yeah, that was her thing. And that was a one and done as well.
Did you ever tickle her?
No.
No.
Never. I'm not a big touch person anyways, because I do think from a woman's standpoint, you definitely, not that I can stand on that, but you are definitely touched more than you should be. Like even by like men in conversation and workplace and stuff of like the elbow touch and all that kind of stuff like that, to where I just don't like being touched myself. And I've seen it happen to women. So I'm just like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you say you went on a date with someone that was driving a Hyundai and you mentioned Hyundai and they were like, what's Hyundai? Tell us that story.
So this was a flight attendant.
What? You'd expect more from a flight attendant?
Would
No.
would you though?
No, I know about 6, and it's about on par. And with all respect to my flight attendants, I love all of you. All right, I still need your flight passes. I'm poor. But I was on a flight to San Diego, and I just got on the Frontier flight. I don't care, just get me there. And the guy next to me was like, kept nudging me, and he was just like, dude, that flight attendant. And I was like, that is a flight attendant. You were correct. That is a flight attendant. He's like, no, she keeps looking at you. And I was like, don't know why, but okay. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be bold. I don't do this. I usually don't approach people. I don't do that. But I wrote my number down on like a napkin, and I was like, if you're in Phoenix, let me know, we can go on a date. And then right when I got off the plane, I got home. Well, that's when I lived in Scottsdale. She texted me. She said, I'm actually Phoenix based. We can go on a date. Took her on a date. She was great. Like, she's great. It was just some of the things that she said. And I was like, what's your favorite brand of like car? Like if you had a dream car, what would it be? And she looked at me and she goes, Hellcat. And I go, pardon me? I was like, a Hellcat? I was like, all right, that's crazy. But I'm like, what about another car? And she goes, Dodge Challenger. And I go, okay. I go, let's start naming cars. And I go like Lamborghini, Ferrari, all this kind of stuff. And then she goes, why drive a Honda? And I go, no, you don't. And she goes, yes, I do. And she took her key fob out and was like, there's the H on it. And I go, my love, that's Hyundai, first and foremost. And she goes, Hyundai? What is that? And I go, ma'am, it's the car you drove here to meet me to a date that I'm going to pay for and have to go home and rethink some things about my life. I'm like, I have 4 college degrees. I don't think I'm smarter than anybody, but I do know the difference between Honda and Hyundai. She goes, I never knew that.
Oh my God.
That's
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got home and I told my best friend out here, like my bestest friend, Josh Allen. And he goes, so are you going to see her again? You're not, right? And I go, no, 100%. I'm like, there's levels that I need to get to because I got to figure this out.
How did she pass the flight attending classes? I'm sure you have to take tests and stuff, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's crazy. So is she the one that spelled neck, K-N-E-C-K?
No, she was not actually. I'm trying to think who that was.
I'm sorry. K-N-E-C.
Yeah, didn't you say you dated someone she thought you spelled neck with a K?
Yeah, she kept saying, and I thought it was like an inside joke because like I haven't cussed in like 3-4 months. So I don't cuss anymore. And then like, I don't like the word horny. I don't know what we can say on here. I'm sorry if I said that.
You can say
okay.
horny.
I don't know, but I don't like to say that. So I say herny, Herni. And it's just from like a streamer said at one time. And me and a few of my buddies will say just is like a funny thing. So I thought it was sort of like an inside joke, like, but every time it would come to like something about like, I sent her a crew neck and I go, how do you like the collar of this? And then she was like, doesn't that looks like it'd be tied around your neck, but it was K-N-E-C-K.
That is hilarious.
And I was like, what? And this was like 4 or 5 years ago, actually. This was like right out of college that happened. And I was just like, what? God. And then I go, can you pronounce that for me? And she just sent me a voice note and she was like, that would look tied around your neck. And I was like, okay, no, she's doing it. Like, I go, I think she does that. And she went to ASU, she had a degre. And
so she legitimately thought you spelled it K-N-E-C-K.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Interesting.
God bless her, as my mom would say.
And autocorrect didn't pick that up.
Well, apparently
like, switch it back to just neck.
Right?
You just get stubborn enough to go, no autocorrect, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click it enough to where autocorrect goes, you got it, girl. You got it, queen.
You do you.
Yeah, you do you.
So you have 4 degrees?
I do. I have 2 from ASU and then I have 2 AAs. So
in what?
I have one in business. I have one in communication. Those are my 2 from ASU. Then I have one in arts and humanities, and then I have one in social and behavioral sciences.
And what do you do?
The best way I can say it is account management for a software startup back east.
Okay.
So everyone's based in like Boston, and I'm based out here. They're all based on the East Coast. I do that. I do content for them for like their LinkedIn. Of course, you've seen the TikToks. They love the personality when I can muster it up. But I do that for them, a little bit of like design and stuff too. But every day to day, is going to be like account support and account management. And
when was your last relationship? Your last long-term?
Define long-term.
What is the longest relationship you've been in?
My first ever one was like on and off 3 years.
Okay, that's a long.
Yeah, but I was just 17 to 20, just small town, couldn't get away from each other, sort of a thing. And like, she's married, good for her, all that kind of good stuff. She still lives in our hometown and everything. But my last one was, I met her in October, which I just found out actually when I was in the UK. I got a memory that my last 3 exes, I either met them in October or I asked them to be my girlfriend in October.
Oh, wow.
You got the memories of 3 different girls.
I was like...
And guess what month it is now? October.
Yeah, guess what month we're skipping? October. But yes, it was and I love October. It's my stepmom's birthday, 10/10. And it's like the best month because of her. But yeah, that was incredibly odd. But I met her in October and she ended things April 14th.
And why did that end?
I will fully fall on the sword on that one. And I don't think I loved her how she needed to be loved. And that's fully acceptable. Right when we met, it was just a series of like emotional events in my life. And please, anybody listening, and y'all don't take it as an excuse because it isn't. I just have to be real with myself of we met and my stepdad's sister died. So like my step aunt died who had been sick her whole life. And I went out to support my family in Boise, that side of the family in Boise, right when we met. And then right after that, my dad called me and that his heart was acting up again and he's already had heart surgery, and that weighs on me a lot. And then in February, it was, my dad calls me. I was at Fry's getting water in the morning, and my dad calls me in tears. My dad's not the man to cry, not the man to cry. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? And he's like, it's Rose. And I'm like, what happened? It's like, you know, and he found her bleeding out on our kitchen floor.
Oh my gosh.
She fell and like cracked her head open. And then like a few weeks after, she was having like a follow-up MRI, and they rushed her to the hospital because she had to have emergency brain surgery because she was bleeding into her brain. And I thought I was handling it well and like hiding it. And I think that took a lot away from like the relationship, and that is 100% fair. And I know, in all fairness to her, she did see like the sides of me that I do want to show. Like she wrote me letters that I still have one of them or whatever. And saying about how lucky she is to find like a guy like me, like in this generation, of course, and like who's caring and thoughtful and like listens. And I just think with everything going on, I went home, and I was home for 5 weeks, and to help take care of my stepmom after her brain surgery. My dad, you know, loved him to death, but he gets irritated, and just because he can't fix it. And I called her one morning. We had like a little tiff the day before, and I heard it in her voice immediately what was going to happen, and I just completely shut down and went cold, and it's something I'll always regret. My whole body and mind screaming at me, just tell her how much you love her. She does not understand how much you love her. Like, you don't tell her, And yeah, and then she ended it, which I fully understand, and I realize her reasonings, and I could have been better and everything along those lines. And then I called my work husband, Tim. Loved him. He's a 41-year-old divorced gay man, one of the best people in my life, and sobbed my eyes out. And I just sat there, and I'm like, you couldn't cry to her, but you just cried to, when I joked, Tim, my work husband. And it was, yeah, that you always think you hit rock bottom until you dig a little deeper. I didn't talk for 5 days. Like, my parents were genuinely worried about me. They just would say it, and I was just, and I don't think, to be fair to myself, it wasn't because she left, right? It wasn't just because, oh my gosh, she's gone, because I understood that I just couldn't be that person she needed me to be, and that just was not fair to her, like by any way, shape, or form. It was the weight of everything, of me hiding it, absolutely just broke me. Like, it put me in a place that I never thought I could be in, and work saw it, and it was probably the worst. I would say the last 6 months have been some of the worst times of my life. But yeah, we lost 50 pounds, and
everything happens for a
Getting
reason.
back on track.
yeah, I guess. But
Now you're ready to jump in the saddle again.
Have you been on many dates since then?
just those two.
Just those two.
Yeah.
What are your deal breakers?
If you have kids, I'm sorry.
Really?
I was raised by a stepmom, so I'm a huge hypocrite on that. That she
You seem to really love your stepmom. I love that.
love of my life,
Aw.
100%. My dad's a very, I'm not gonna say a strict guy, but he's definitely very like a harder dad. It wasn't like a feelings relationship with me and my dad. It was, I played baseball, and I felt like sometimes if I did bad, I wasn't a good son, and when I did good, I was a good son sometimes. And like Rose was the one that like showed me like real love, because I only saw my mom on the weekends, and I love my mom to death. That takes nothing away from my biological mom. I love my mom. I just went to the UK with her. So but yeah, no, she is like the love of my life, my rock and everything. And I try to do everything and live through her and just be the best person I can because that's how she raised me. So,
But you could never date someone that has kids with someone else.
No, I want to start that family with somebody.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like a hypocrite and I want to be fair and I can call that out, but it's just, that's a big deal breaker for me.
Are there anything else that like you cannot get past?
Some sort of relationship with some higher power, like a God. Okay, maybe not like a John Travolta cult like relationship, but you know, it's not like that. But some relationship with God, I would love. I would say that's a huge deal breaker to me. Somebody that is somewhat focused on their fitness, not or like their health, I should say, not their fitness, because I think it's such a big turn off and so disrespectful to say, I'm 185 pounds. I get in a relationship with a girl that's 135 pounds. I don't know a normal weight of a woman. I don't ask. So say I'm going to say 135, 5'4", boom. And then we go on and then we're dating for a year and she's 138 pounds and I'm 242 pounds because that's not what you're signing up for because one, you're only taking years off of your life. You're not taking care of yourself. We all do go through things and stuff. But someone that's like definitely health conscious a little bit as well, because I've struggled with weight since I got out of college. I got all the way up to 268 pounds, like through COVID and stuff. And like this morning I was 183. Oh, wow. So like I definitely, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it sort of a thing. So,
well, and I was having this conversation with someone recently because it's like you want to be able to do fun, active things with your partner. And it's like if you like to do things like walk, or even like I was using the Havasupai hike as an example. Like when I was with my ex, we took my parents on the Havasupai hike.
Okay.
And my mom, my dad, and I hiked back out, but my ex took the helicopter out because he wasn't like in the physical shape to do it. And it's just like stuff like that where it's like, come on, like it'd be nice if we were all in the same physical shape to be able to do those things together, because now it's like you missed out on that experience with us because you weren't in the shape to do it. Like it's like you don't need to be a bodybuilder or anything, but just to be able to do things together.
Single and ready to mingle? Join the Meat Market VIP Singles Lounge during the $1 Million Polo Lounge experience, happening Saturday, November the 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
We'll be at the Meat Market Singles Lounge inside the $1 Million Mingle Polo Lounge on Saturday, November 8th. Camera crew in tow, ready to meet you and introduce you to some sizzling singles. Get your tickets now at mdmexperience.com, and don't forget to use the promo code MDMMM. That's MDMMM, so they know that we sent you.
We'll see you at the Meat Market Singles Lounge, located inside the $1 Million Mingle Polo Lounge. Have you ever walked out mid-date or had someone walk out mid-date?
no, actually.
No?
I don't think I could ever be that disrespectful. I think time is very precious and we don't have much of it to where because I've never had it, unless someone is just being uberly disrespectful to me, or like vice versa. If I was somehow, which would not happen, but if I was being disrespectful to them, they left, I would understand or something. But even if like, say the person that like, I knew I was never going to go on a second date with them and like, sorry, love, I'm not going to talk to you after this, even though I'm not going to tell them that, but I will let it die out because I'm like, this feels a lot lighter of a landing than me just telling you, you don't look like what you're supposed to look like. Getting to know somebody and spending time with somebody is still like very precious that not everybody can do. And I'll always have conversation with anybody that wants to talk, because as somebody that's struggled through mental health like their whole life, and just discovering it 9 years ago that I was even clinically severely depressed by the doctors at my college and everything, to where you don't know what impact you can make on that person.
It's actually very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my buddy Derek, I actually have his initials tattooed right here on my arm. He was my buddy from college. On the back of his gravestone, it actually says, make somebody smile today. And I will live by that till the day I die.
It's kind of true, because we had a guest that she walks out mid-date all the time and we'll just block them, won't even give them an explanation. She might be doing damage to some of these guys, you know? Like, you don't know what effect that does.
Yeah. Do you find that you disclose your mental health stuff fairly early when you are getting to know someone that you're dating, or do you sort of keep that?
Yeah, I think it definitely comes up. It's just, I just struggle sometimes. I have good days, bad days, good days, bad months, maybe. But yeah, like I'm very open about it. I'll joke about it and stuff like that. And it doesn't really bother me if somebody jokes about it or anything. Like I've, tried to not be here a few times and thank, the Lord that I still am here and everything like that. And I don't hide it. Like, I have like ways of like, I can express things and everything. Like what nobody really knows about me is, unless you've seen my Hinge, because they help me craft it, like friends and family and stuff. They all help me craft my Hinge. And it's like the two truths and a lie on my thing is I'm an award-winning poet, I'm an award-winning carpenter, and I have 3 college degrees. Now 4. So it's like, even if you're like, I have more. To where like I'll like write like poetry or something, which I've won awards for. I have like my little escapes that I'll like do when I get sad. It's just really when I write is when I'm sad. That's like the worst part.
Have you been cheated on?
Not that I know of.
Have you cheated?
Never in my life. I couldn't. I don't see how you can get to that point with somebody that you could do it. And it depends how you define cheating as well. Never done any, but I can see somebody of like, well, you emotionally cheated with somebody at work because you told her she was cute or something. And I'm like, let's take a step back. All right. Like, I don't care if you're like, you look good today, John. John may have needed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you and John went to the broom closet and got it on.
Yeah.
But no, like physically cheated, or I would even say emotionally cheated, to where like, even when I'm in a relationship where like, I don't like and they hate it, because I do have probably 4 or 5 girls that are very close to me that I've never been intimate with. They just love who I am. And even through boyfriends and stuff, I always tell them, if you have a boyfriend, I really don't feel comfortable talking to you, because I wouldn't like that. I don't like the girls' pictures. I'm not going to go through and unfollow girls. Like, that is absolutely nuts. But I don't go, and I'm not liking bikini pictures on Instagram and stuff, because I don't want my partner to feel insecure about anything about themselves, because the reason I picked you is because you're perfect. And that's like one of my biggest Achilles heels with dating, is my baseline is 90 days before, 90 days after, not the fiance kind. But great callback. But it's 90 days before you ask somebody out, and then depending on how long you've dated officially, 90 days after, before you want to really hop into bed, go on another date or anything, because that's where you learn the most. And my thing is, when I date somebody, it rewires my own mind to where that is now that's beauty to me. They are the beauty standard. So like, yes, can I look around and go, yes, that person's attractive? Sure. But they're not you, and like, I'm not interested in them. And that's why it's really hard after, to where like, I haven't been with anybody since my ex, 6 months ago. I'm not upset about that, is because if I go on a date and I'm still comparing them to this person, you're not ready to go get into bed with somebody. That creates a bond, regardless if it's a one-night stand or not. Somebody could get attached. You're not ready. Now you just hurt somebody that thought you were really interested in them. And I'm just not that. I don't need that bad.
Are you meeting anyone else on any other platforms other than Hinge, or are you just using Hinge?
I'm using Hinge if I use something, it would be Hinge. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't like doom scrolling, because you do see your likes sometimes, and I'm just like, it might be me. Like, it could be me. And I mean, with all respect to them, they're just not my type. And, I hope they find the love they're looking for. But I feel like that's a guy and a girl thing. You'll see you're most compatible. And I'm like, to who?
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. The Keep More Minute, brought to you by Tactical Tax Strategies. They help you keep more in your wallet. We help you keep more in your relationship. All right, so we have a little listener question.
Oh, Lord.
I recently went over to my boyfriend's parents' house for dinner for the first time. Their mom making her famous secret family recipe. Well, I did not love it. Should I tell my partner that the secret family recipe is terrible?
Ooh, that's tough.
Why not? Life's too short. I don't think so, honestly, because what are you gaining from that?
Right?
Yeah.
It's true.
If that's going to be your nightly meal, then sure. But if this is going to be for Thanksgiving, the holidays,
a
you're just
one-time.
going to have to put it down.
Yeah.
You know.
Because if you are honest, you run the risk of offending the family, right? Is it worth it? Like you said.
My problem is my my face, like that. His mom is gonna know that I didn't like the
Really?
meal. You
can't fake it?
No, I'm so bad at faking stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I mean-
I'm too nice and I don't like confrontation that I will act like I love it. Even if it's the most disgusting thing I've ever had. I'll be like, oh my God, this is so good. Wow.
See, I can't do that.
No.
And not genuinely.
Yeah.
Like it I feel like the mother would know that I was faking and
Would you
lying.
say, oh, this is delicious, even if you hated it?
That's the thing is I don't lie. That's,
I know, and I
that's-
have a hard time too. I think it'd be like, for me, I'd be like, well, it's interesting.
Really? Oh my God, Jess. It's interesting.
I've never tasted something quite like this before.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, I've never had anything like this before.
That's what I probably would say. I've never had anything quite like this.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, I have a really refined palate. I don't know if this lands on my palate, but I understand if you like it.
Yes.
So you had made a comment that you don't curse. Is that a religious thing or just a personal thing? Are you religious?
Yes, very religious. Some of my friends, they brought me back more to God. And that's one of the things too is hard a little bit for dating for me as well. And this is going to make me sound sort of conceited or weird, but some of my closest friends out here play in the NFL. One of my really good friends plays in the MLB. I have a friend that's an actress, to where they're not people you just bring random dates around because like they have their families and stuff and like they trust me and everything. So it's a little hard to date there because I'm going to bring them around this girl and they are a little bit, they don't act like this by any means, but higher profile of people, make a lot more money and stuff. So it is a little weird and I have to really see like, are you going to mix with this friend group? But yes, my buddy Isaiah, he brought me back to church. I grew up Catholic because I'm Italian, you know, it's Catholic Italian. But I just really got like over it because it was just so forced, and I went through college and did my stuff. And then he was always just so, let's go to church, man. You know, God's got you, all this stuff. Like I already had, like I have a Bible verse right here. I have another Bible verse right here, like all this kind of stuff. And he was like, if you're going to have it, like, let's live it. And no, the reason I don't cuss is, I can be open, it's fine, is June 30th, or is June 30th? June has 30 days, I believe. 4 degrees, by the way.
30 days has September, April, June, and November.
Oh, golly.
So yes, June, golly gee, June has 30 days. It sure does.
Yeah, everyone makes fun of you saying golly, too. Like, I have a few friends that say golly because of me. But, no, I had a really bad night. And I thought that was going to be, you know, my last night here. And texted my manager at work and told her, I go, if you don't see me online on Slack tomorrow morning, it just means that I'm not here anymore. And called my stepmom and talked to her a little bit and pretty much tried to make that our last phone call, and sat across my bed from something that could have taken my life. And then got lucky that my housemate at the time, who never would just come in my room, just barged in my room at the last second. I was sitting there crying and everything. Wow. And he's like, dude, what is going on? I can hear you, like all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't ugly cry, for one, bro. Don't come in here and tell me I ugly cry. All right. I was crying like a man in here. All right. But yeah, after that, it just, again, it was just another, I thought I was doing good after the breakup. It's been 2.5, 3 months. I just turned 30. I had lost like 30 pounds at that time. And I'm like, you're going up. And that night just broke me back to all the way down to where it felt like we broke up the day before, that my stepmom just had the surgery the day before, all of this kind of stuff. And then it just flipped it again to where since then, like every night, like I read my Bible before bed. I play like my smooth jazz or a jazz record. I love jazz. Sit there. I was like, let's really just clean up your life. Like, let's stop saying that we're changed. You know, you've been in therapy for 4+ years. They're like, you are this perfect person. Like, let's really try to dive deeper of this quote unquote focusing on yourself. And one of those things I just tried, I was like, stop cussing. Because I think that if somebody cusses every single sentence, it shows a very limited vocabulary. And I don't have a very limited vocabulary, but when I was cussing twice a sentence, to me, it just comes off as very unattractive if it's every other word. Because if someone cusses, I'm like, hey, you're going to HE double hockey sticks, bro. I don't care about that, but yeah.
Have you heard, so now we're going to discuss an article. There are so many new dating trends out there, it's hard to keep up. Have you heard of the dating trend Shrekking?
Yeah.
You have? Like the ogre? So Shrekking is when you date down. You're out of their league. So you're dating someone that's less attractive than you are.
Yeah,
and
you're the princess.
Yeah, and
Fiona.
you do this so you have the upper hand and so that you're not going to get hurt. That's crazy people do that. And have you heard of getting Shreked? When you're Shrekking, you're dating someone that's uglier than you, but then you end up getting your heart broken. You're like, what the fuck happened? How did I get hurt?
I feel like this has been a strategy though, always.
It's true. Now there's just a name for it.
There's just a name for it now. Because I feel
100%.
like I mean, you think about like the storylines of like movies and books and things like that, of like the popular girl all of a sudden dating the nerd, or vice versa, like the She's All That, where the popular guy does a makeover on the nerdy artsy girl, and you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
again, that song, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, you got to choose an ugly girl for your wife, you know? Dating down.
Ugly is a little crazy. Ugly and rich, I'm fine with. All right. But it's because, like, in communication, one of the things is the first level of communication is attractiveness. Like, there's no, people say looks don't matter. It's total BS. It's just not science. To where if you put a guy or a girl in a room and there's 10 people, the person they walk up to, they're going to think is attractive every single time. If you're like, go talk to somebody, it's because they're going to feel a little bit more like there's going to be a reward if I talk to this person. Yeah, I don't think I could ever.
But I feel like personality can change looks, right? There can be someone that's not so attractive, but then if they're very gregarious or funny or witty, they can become good looking, no?
I would be a 10 out of a 10. I'm hilarious.
I think,
but,
I think that's funny.
But
I think people can become more attractive to you depending on their personality, for sure.
Have you ever struck? Like, I remember when I was younger, I had a career. I bought my first condo in Scottsdale and I dated this guy that was like a doorman at a bar. And I was like, haha, you know, like I had the upper hand. He's never going to leave me. I'm never going to get hurt. And sure enough, he fucking left me and I got hurt. I got shreked. It's like, what the fuck happened?
I mean, I feel like pretty much all of my friends would say No Complaints was a Shrek.
Oh God,
the first guy,
you
my
dated
first
down
ex.
big time.
Well, and even my last ex, I think was.
lay it on her soft, golly, all right?
I think everyone knows that, though.
Everyone knows that, and I know that.
And he ended up cheating on her with multiple women.
No. And then even my ex that was an addict, he was better looking. Like, he was better looking than the first guy than No Complaints, but he still was not better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His
like,
personality
it was
made him ugly.
Yes. Yeah. No, I thought his personality made him more attractive. I like a little bit of like a harsh.
Wasn't he an addict?
Sense of humor. That's not personality.
Well, kind of. I mean, it makes someone less attractive, right?
It does, but being an addict isn't a personality trait. Being an addict
if you're
is
always
a mental
drunk,
health issue.
You have a drunk personality. You know what I'm saying?
That is fair, honestly. Yeah, I would say my work personality, then when three hits, that's not me anymore.
Right?
I'm different Justin.
Right.
So now we're going to chat the celebrity cut where we marinate in the juices of the celebrities. What is up with Bad Bunny? Like, all the people that are against him performing at the Super Bowl. Do you get that?
No.
Everyone has their panties in a twist. They're all up in arms because Bad Bunny's performing. And like, people are throwing their own halftime show, like Turning Point. They're doing their alternative halftime show. But then, so I Googled it, and the reasons are people are against it because, okay, he sings in Spanish. But over 50 million people in this country speak Spanish. People in this country were speaking Spanish long before they were speaking English. So I feel like that's not a valid argument. Then they're saying, well, he's not from here. He's a US citizen, right? Do you know how many people have performed in the halftime show that are not US citizens? Rihanna from Barbados, like Sting, Rolling Stones, Shakira from Colombia. They're not US citizens, but did people complain when they performed? I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Wasn't it because he said, this is the only thing I have seen, so I could be totally wrong. I think it was that he said that he wasn't going to perform in America anymore because of like the deportation policies that Trump put in, and that he's totally flipping on that now to do the halftime show. That is the only thing I read on it, and I could be totally wrong.
I don't know.
I didn't read that. I am not sure.
And then people were saying he's not mainstream enough, but he's won 3 Grammys.
Yeah,
his
he's
songs
very
were the number 1
mainstream.
streamed songs on Spotify for 3 years in a row. He's sold millions of tickets for his US tour. I think he's pretty mainstream.
I could see it. Like, I could see it if people were upset about his lyrics, because his lyrics are very spicy.
They are.
So
Like,
I don't know.
very, very spicy. But the problem is the people who are complaining about him performing can't understand his lyrics anyway.
Right, that's true. It's so true.
So like, because like that would be my thing, is I'd be like, oh, if I have bilingual kids, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it's a little, the lyrics are a little racy, you know what I mean, for my kids who are watching the Super Bowl halftime show. But I feel like the ones who are complaining the most are the ones who are like, if you're going to be in America, speak English. And
It's
they don't understand the lyrics anyways.
It's so true.
So,
And
I don't know.
Aren't a lot of the halftime shows a little risque?
Yeah.
People are always complaining about them, right?
I
It's not
feel-
appropriate for children. You hear that every year.
Yeah, I feel.
Anyways, now it's time to get to know you with Zoyo, sponsored by Zoyo, your neighborhood yogurt. If you'd like to pick a card and
Lord.
answer it.
I just want to say I did want it to be Metallica.
It's Kingster's card. This might be a little spicy for him. We'll see.
Oh, it might be, yes.
Okay, if it's something that it says, have you been to a sex club? Tell us about it. I have never came close to a sex club, strip club, never been.
Really? You've never been
to a strip club either.
No.
Wow.
Why am I going to pay to see boobs? I don't get it. I don't really understand. I don't see like the male attraction to it. Like, even I've been to 2 of my friends' bachelor parties and we didn't go either. And I don't see me wasting money for somebody that does not care about me.
It's kind of true.
If you were somewhere where it was culturally, like if you were like in Amsterdam or, I mean, places in Germany even, there's these like black door clubs or black room clubs or whatever they call them. Would you go if it was like a cultural experience?
No,
like
ma'am.
if you were dating someone?
No, ma'am.
Not your cup of tea.
No, because I do think that's definitely, if you are dating somebody and you go to a strip club for like your friend's bachelor or whatever, I definitely think that's cheating. Because if my fiance had like male strippers at her bachelorette party, I'd be like, but like, why? It'd be a little interesting.
Yeah.
So, question for you. Do you think watching porn when you're in a relationship is considered cheating?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know.
It is a tough one.
I don't know, because I see both sides so clearly, and it's one of those things to where I get it. It's not that person. You don't know the person, but it's the same thing of like, well, if we're in a relationship, this is supposed to be something shared through us, and you're doing it with yourself, watching somebody else do it. That's a hard one.
One last question. Do you have a crazy or unique talent that not many people know about? So you write poetry, right?
I do write poetry. Getting broken up with in less than 6 months. That's a good one. No, I would say living very random lives. I know that's not a thing, but like when, say a girl, I go on a date and they really do actually get to know me, and they're just like, every single time they're like, you've lived 100 lives. 90 Day Fiancé, professional athlete friends, you've award-winning poetry, carpentry, how much you love your family. Like, you don't see all of this in one. And then I'm like, well, I'll expect you to not reply in 1 week, because that's what always happens. But like, I'm like, tell me how great I am and I won't talk to you anymore. Not me, them. They'll just still, no, this is too good. See ya.
You do seem very genuine and sincere and honest. And we were just talking with another female guest how she's like, the most manly thing to me is when a man can be vulnerable and open up with his emotions, which it seems like you can do that. You have no problem doing that. You're like an anomaly.
Yeah, I would say, thank you. I would say like that's one of my biggest regrets was, I know the last lie I told, and it was on the phone call with my ex when she was breaking up with me, is she knew that the place I was in wasn't good, and I was like reassuring her that if you're not happy here, like, I don't want you here. Like, if someone doesn't want to be in my life and has gotten to know me well enough to know who I can be, it's just not me at the time, they don't need to be here.
Did you say she moved on? Is she married now?
No, that was my first ever girlfriend.
So,
No,
so your chapter might not be closed or finished.
Moving on.
I don't know.
So, no, sorry, that sounded so rude. I did not mean that to be rude. No, Lord knows what's going to happen in the future. But the lie I told was, she was like, I need you to be okay, because she knew what she was doing was going to hurt me, but I don't think she knew how bad, which is fine. And I told her that I was like, no, I want you to make your decision and everything will be fine. I'll be fine. I promise. And that was the last lie I told, because I knew I wasn't going to be okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in
And
that.
it is hard. I have a friend who has type 1 bipolar.
Yeah.
And it's always the same thing. No, I'm fine. Everything's fine. And it's like, I know that is not true. And so that's a hard truth sometimes, I feel like, for people to admit.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't.
Do you have any other questions?
no.
Anything else you want to say? Well, thank you so much for joining us this week at the Meat Market. And thank you so much, Justin. If you want to snag Justin for a date, go to any of our social media platforms at Meat Market Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, Arizona Tactical Tax Strategies. If you want to keep more of your own money in your wallet, you need to go to Tactical Tax Strategies. See you next week at the Meat Market. Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.